Today we're going to work through another project that I call Billy Bat Thornton using Scratch. Remember, Scratch was a really good way to learn programming. The purpose of Scratch is to create stuff and to learn computational thinking. So this is what you're going to create today. You're going to create a little scrolling game with Billy Bat Thornton right there. Billy Bat's going to try to avoid the stalactites and stalagmites as well as the ghost bats. Anytime Billy Bat runs into any of these icicles, he's going to die. You press the space bar to make Billy Bat go up, and then he always naturally falls down with gravity, just like all of us. Okay, let's get started. The first thing you're going to need to do is go to scratch.mit.edu, and you're going to want to sign in with the account that you created last time. Might I suggest using your KeyPass? The next thing is to click Create to start your project. Let's go ahead and get rid of the default sprite by using the scissors, and let's change the name of our project to Billy Bat Thornton. And save. Before we go any further, let's make our cave black. We're going to do that by choosing the backdrop using the paint bucket with black selected to give us a nice black stage for our game. Now, we're going to draw a new sprite. We're going to create the icicles. So we're going to rename this Icicle. Then go over to the Costumes tab, where we're going to call this one Icicle 1. We're going to have a total of 4 icicles. Let's choose a dark brown color and then the line tool. Go ahead and draw a couple of spiky looking icicles. You can use your paint bucket to fill those. Remember, we want to create icicles at the top and the bottom. Let's go ahead and draw another one with a little bit of an offset. I'm going to fill that in with the paint bucket as well. As you can see from the backdrop, it's not quite lined up. So we're going to take it and line it up right where we want it. That looks good right there. Like I said before, you're going to need 4 different costumes for the icicle. So you can duplicate each one and then change it slightly. In this one, I'm going to select the icicle, flip it, and move it to the top. There's no right or wrong way to make these. Just make sure there's a good balance of challenge for our bat, Billy Bat. Continue on until you've made 4. Make sure there's a lot of diversity. We're going to be picking an icicle costume by random so that when the bat is flying through the cave, he never quite knows what type of icicle is coming next. All right, let's create our last one. Duplicate. Use the select tool. Delete. Select tool, delete. And if you'd like, you can draw your icicles from scratch. looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and save that and move on to our next step. We're going to put some code on these icicles. First thing we're going to do is we're going to say that when the green flag is clicked, we're going to broadcast a message. And we're going to call that message start. When we broadcast the message start, other scripts can listen for it and respond, including this one. So when start is broadcast, I'm going to hide, at least initially, my icicles. And then I'm going to grab a forever block so that the code is constantly doing the following. I want the code to constantly wait 3 seconds and then clone or create another copy of my icicle sprite. It'll continually do this, and it will start doing it whenever it receives the start message. Then, whenever an icicle is created as a clone, I want to randomly pick the costume or the type of icicles to draw on the stage. I'm going to randomly pick between my 4 costumes by using the pick random block. Now I need to position my icicle. I'm going to position my icicle at 240 and 0. 240 for X, Y for 0. This will start everything off to the right. And then, and only then, I want to show it. A couple more things to do. It's really important that we have the appearance of motion. So we're going to make our icicles glide across the screen. The icicles are going to take 3 seconds to glide to the position of negative 240X and 0Y. Once they've completed their glide to the left edge of the screen, we are going to delete the clone that was created. So every time an icicle is created, this code will run for each. Looking pretty good. Let's click the green flag to see what we have so far. As you can see, we've got our stalactites and stalagmites scrolling across the screen, and every 3 seconds a new one is created. It glides, and then it is destroyed. This is excellent. Now let's create our Ghost Bat sprite. Rename it Ghost Bat. And take a look at the Costumes tab. You'll see that the bat already has 2 different costumes. This is going to allow us to animate our Ghost Bat later. But I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to choose color black, and I'm going to color in the bat's eyes. The reason why I'm doing this is because I really want my Ghost Bat to be white. Then I take the white paint bucket and pretty much just reverse the colors. Nice. This is going to give our Ghost Bat a very creepy look, which is important. Go ahead and save. Now let's add some code to this sprite in its script tab. All right. Once again, we are going to respond whenever the start message is broadcast. The first thing we're going to do is set the size of the bat to be a little smaller. We're going to set it to 25%. we're going to push the ghost bat back 3 layers so that's always in the back, and then we're going to hide it. Next, we're going to grab ourselves a forever block. Remember, forever means that we're always going to be doing this. So we want the code to continually wait, and we're going to pick a random number between 5 and 10. So we're going to have the code wait between 5 to 10 seconds to create programmatically ghost bats. And we do that by using the create clone of myself block. So if we were to click the green flag now, there's our icicles, and then somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds, we should be seeing ghost bats. But we're not now because they're hidden. So we've got some more code to add. Just like with the icicles, we're going to use the when I start as a clone block. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to determine the position of the ghost bat. We're going to start it at the 240 X coordinate, and then we're going to randomly pick how north or south the ghost bat is. We're going to randomly pick a number between negative 180 and positive 180 for our Y coordinate. Once again, no bat. The only thing that's really missing so that we can start testing, we need to put a little show block in there. Press the flag again. And in between 5 or 10 seconds, you should start seeing bats created on the right edge of the screen. There they are. So we're randomly creating our bats. They're the right size, but we need our bats to also look like they're moving. So we're going to add a glide to them in the same way that we added a glide to the icicles. We want their glide to be somewhat random. So we're going to have them glide across the screen somewhere between 5 to 7 seconds. And they are going to glide towards the negative 240 X coordinate, but they are going to stay at their Y position. So we're going to grab their Y position and use that in our block. Once they glide across the screen, we want to delete them. So there you can see we've added the glide. Ghost bats are randomly showing up, but we haven't added our delete yet. So let's go ahead and do that. We need the delete this clone block. There we are. Let's test it one more time. There's our icicles. Here come the bats, one by one, gliding across the screen with a lot of variation. You probably noticed, though, that our bats, not very exciting. We need to animate them so that they look like they're flying. Once again, we're going to use the when I start as a clone block to program all of the ghost bats we create. We need our forever block, which basically means that we're going to be doing this constantly. We're going to wait 0.35 of a second, so a little bit over a third of a second. And then we are just going to say next costume. And this will alternate between the two different costumes, simulating the ghost bat flying. As you can see, much better. The bats are showing up random at different Y coordinates. They're scrolling across the screen and then they're being destroyed. So far we have all the different obstacles that Billy Bat needs to interact with. And the only thing we're missing is Billy Bat himself. Okay, let's go ahead and create Billy Bat himself. Let's stop our game. And let's grab another sprite from the library. We're going to choose that first bat, the brown one. And let's rename him Billy Bat. Similar to the ghost bat, Billy Bat comes with different costumes. So we're going to animate him to make him look like he flies as well. Let's go ahead and add a script to him. We're going to start our code, just like with the other stuff, when someone broadcasts the start message. When the start message appears, we're going to show the bat. And we also need to position him. Position Billy Bat at -140 X and 0 Y. So he'll be a little bit to the left and centered vertically. We also want to make him a little bit smaller, about 40% of the size you see there. So that's where he'll start. Looks pretty good. Now we need to simulate gravity. So at the beginning of the game, we're going to wait 2 seconds, and then, grabbing a forever block, we are going to make Billy Bat drop by 3 pixels constantly. This will simulate being in the air and having gravity pull you down. There you go. Now, obviously, a game where the bat just falls constantly, not a lot of fun. So we need to find our win spacebar key pressed block. And whenever somebody presses the spacebar, we want to push the bat up 25 pixels. So we're going to add 25 to the current Y position of Billy Bat. Just like we did with the ghost bat, we need to animate Billy Bat. So we're going to use a when I receive start block. We're going to put a forever block in there. And then we're constantly going to wait a quarter of a second, 0.25, and then we're going to switch costumes. As you can see, 4 times a second, we're switching between Billy Bat's 2 costumes, and this gives the appearance of him flying. All right, one more block to do. When we receive the start message, we need another forever block. In this forever block, we're going to be checking to see whether Billy Bat has collided with either the ghost bat or the icicle. So we need an if block, and we also need an or block. We need 2 touching blocks. We want to see whether Billy Bat is touching the ghost bat or touching the icicle. If either one of these things is happening, then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hide Billy Bat. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to disable any of the other scripts that are running in Billy Bat. You can stop all code if you'd like. We're pretty much just going to disable Billy Bat and his code for 2.5 seconds. So we put a wait block in, and then after that 2.5 seconds, we are going to rebroadcast the start message. Same message that all of the other code is listening for. So let's play it. So here we are. Press the space bar. Billy Bat goes up. Uh-oh. If he runs into an icicle, he's disabled. We wait 2.5 seconds, and then the game resumes, starting with him at that centered position. Uh-oh, same thing. Run into the ghost bat, game restarts. Let's go ahead and save this. And I think it'd be good if we saw it in its full glory. Make sure your focus is on the game. Press the green start flag. Here come the stalactites and stalagmites. Hit the space bar to make Billy Bat go up. And uh-oh, if it collides into something, the game's over. Great job.